6 o'clock.
Didn't have enough backwood, but it did just tilt over.
No, our meetings are always on the first and last Monday of the month. No, Floyd Road. That's tonight. Yes, sir.
These holidays got everybody messed up, I probably think it's
You know, that college football on Thursday, so Friday, it'll be Sunday. It's college football on Saturday.
Need to hurry on, the meeting starts that, well, we're waiting on the attorney now.
What road? Oh, yeah, that's tonight.
Yes, sir.
I can just about guess who that was. Mike.
Sales. He is a nice enough guy, but his wife is my sister's husband's cousin. So
Only in Madison County.
I see it, you know. I don't know how many times removed, but.
He's going to run for court one time.
Jackie's not here?
Who?
Jackie, is it three five?
Oh. I'm sorry, Derek, you said one of my trucks.
I was just picking on you, I was headed this way, and when the work truck was pulling into the shop, you know,
And he turned the
slowed
signal light
down,
on?
put his signal on, and he just eased up like he's supposed to. I'm like, all right.
It may be somebody stole one of our trucks.
He was on the clock.
He worked about an hour.
Was you counting board commissioner meeting tonight?
Yeah, he didn't turn in and sling material out the back of the truck.
That's what.
Say that one more time, you broke up.
We had a lady call from Kentucky one time,
Oh, okay.
complaining about a plumbing company truck. And
That's all right, we can put you,
dodging in and out of traffic and all like that. The office manager,
It's okay.
he called and I said,
It's okay.
listen, man, they
Go ahead. You have a great night.
came
No,
down
you
one
have
of
a
our
great night.
trucks
What's your
right
next?
in Athens, Georgia. And she said, is that Clark County? I said, yes, it is. And she said, this truck has a Clark County tag.
They're on the agenda for today.
And I said,
She said nobody let her know who we put it on. She didn't know.
so,
It's okay.
you know, she had the first 3 letters of the tag number, and it was one of our trucks. One of our employees' father had passed away in Kentucky, and he didn't have reliable transportation, so he just drove one of the vehicles up there. Yeah, and well, he forgot to mention it until we asked him about it the next Monday. At the same time, we asked about the keys and the credit card.
Yeah, I've been saying the cash card.
Yeah.
It was an oversight in the heat of the moment.
Y'all have a good New Year's, everybody?
Yeah.
New Year's night? Boy, didn't it? I cut it off with 3 minutes to go. That doesn't seem all I want to see. But I will say, I hope Ole Miss wins it all now, just to stab old Lane Kiffin in the neck a little bit that he left a team that might want.
No,
He's still getting paid. That's the problem.
It'll still look bad.
$250 for every victory.
I can't believe that, hey, this is.
Who do you think win it all?
Indiana.
Indiana?
They're
Oh,
good.
Indiana look good anyway.
Whatever that team is,
So let's
they
say,
win it all. Them or mine.
Oh, I don't want that to happen.
I don't want that to happen either, but it's possible.
Yeah.
And they were the last team in.
Well, it depends for Miami. It depends on how late they'll let them out of the detention centers.
Hey, buddy. All right, now, we can start now. You brought the law with you.
I can't get anybody to listen to it, to hear this.
That's all right. I'd like to welcome everybody to the Madison County Board of Commissioners Agenda Setting Work Session, January 5th, 6 p.m. We will now call this meeting to order. We will start off with the chairman's report. We'll be brief. Basically, I wanted to recap a little bit of 2025. This is our 2025 prediction in 2024 came true as we wrapped up one of the busiest years these county offices have ever seen throughout all departments. I'm very proud of how far we've come, and I'm also proud of the people that have been tasked to meet those needs. 2026 is projected to be even busier. Just like the citizens at home, we face budget restraints, concerns, all while focusing on a higher level of service to our citizens. A few of the challenges our office and the BOC will face moving forward are new construction projects, water, roads, sewers, while maintaining our current infrastructure projects. Citizens will face inconvenience at times due to many of these projects, but they will be short-lived. We will see a zoning ordinance change in 2026. We also will face navigating new state and federal laws, again, while complying with the old ones. On behalf of the Board of Commissioners, I'd like to say thank you to the citizens for your continued support as we do our very best to make Madison County the best place in the state to live, raise a family, as well as work. Now, with that being said, a couple things going on roads. Rogers Mill shoulders started today, and they are moving at a very quick pace, and that is the 2-foot widening. They're projected to finish Rogers Mill in a couple of days, and there will go straight to Sanford Road. Shoulder there is also the 2-foot widening. Hope Thompson contract will be on here tonight's agenda for approval. Once that contract has been approved, Garrett Paving is ready to start that immediately, so there will be no delays in that process. Adderhold, Rogers, and Frank Bird, both patching was completed today. Johnson Bridges and Hudson River is scheduled for tomorrow. Sanford Road at Crabapple Hollow, pipe installation will go in Wednesday. And just for special notes, for those people over there during construction, please slow down. We all know it's a drag strip, but during construction times, the speed limit is reduced. Pay attention to the signage and watch out for our workers. That closure on that road will take approximately all day. We will probably start about 8 a.m. So if you travel Sanford Road by way of Crabapple and either way, that road will be closed for 8-hour minimum.
What is it?
Wednesday. An update on the well off D. Williams Road at Field 98. The bore casing went in last Wednesday. Concrete was poured, it was setting, and they are currently up there drilling as we speak. So, that's it for water, sewer, roads, and all that other fun updates. I will say, USDA has just about, this whole waterline feed mill project in Comer is still delayed with USDA and their never-ending brand new requirements and brand new documents. And I've got to thank Mike Pruitt, and John Phillips, and Christina, and everybody behind the scenes that keep pulling rabbits out of a hat. It's sad that we're in this place because we've announced for 2 years that we've got the money and we still don't got the money. Because every day we think we're going to start the next day, and they always come up with something new. I do appreciate Mike working Friday, Saturday. I saw emails Saturday. I may even saw emails from Sunday. I'm not real sure.
No, I did. Sometime late Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, it's, I don't know, while I appreciate, Representative Collins, allocating that money to us, we're going to be a lot more cautious on receiving money in the future because of this. I would say to date, on trying to retrieve our portion of that $1.8 million, if we don't got 2,000 man hours involved in this, we don't got one. And as of right now, I can't tell you when we'll get it.
Part of it is, if I can chime in, I think, you know, now there's a couple of things I'm trying to get them to deal with, one of which I think is caused by all the stuff you had to struggle with, and you, from summer up until they finally decided to involve me in December, which meant some of the stuff was already out of date.
Yeah, yeah. The most astonishing was them trying to rely on a 1965 law by, was that Eisenhower, who was it?
Lyndon Johnson.
Lyndon Johnson.
It was rescinded by President Trump on January 22nd of this year, and that old one is now illegal. I actually had
But we're still sticking to the old.
I actually
They
had
just
thought
didn't
that
know
if
no
you want to go real scorched earth, you could call the USDA director and tell her that she might want to implement the procedure that the guy who appointed her implemented.
Yeah. But anyway, we are trying our best to get that water line done. It's not by any lack of effort on behalf of the Board of Commissioners, I can assure you. But we will continue to jump through their hoops, and we will see it to the end. So, with that being said, business involving guest groups, multiple visitors, is going to be Madison County Food Bank, Miss Jackie Morris. She will actually be attending the meeting at the end of the month for a presentation. And that presentation I'm really excited about because it's just so much good news in that. I thought the public needed to hear it. So we will reschedule her and move straight into the public hearing on actions on zoning matters. Mr. Canola Scott.
Before, I just want to interrupt real quick. The first four, we don't have to hold a public hearing because we held a public hearing December the 1st. These were tabled from that December 1st meeting. So Canola can just pick up with item number 4. So items 1 through, item number 5. Canola. 1 through 4 is the rezone in District 1 off of Rogers Church Road. It's 3 rezones and a variance. The Planning and Zoning Board had voted 4-0 to deny, and they heard this back in November.
November 18th, I believe it was.
So here is, and I reprinted these and put these in your packet. You also have on the top is kind of a summary and a timeline, some permits that were pulled, septic tanks, that kind of information from staff. And you also have those deeds and permit paperwork in this as well in these packets. I think someone had requested those at the last meeting.
Thank you, Christine.
You're welcome.
So, gentlemen, on this, if you have any questions for the applicant, considering we've already heard from the public, but anything relevant, now would be the time to ask. If not, I would entertain a motion at this point.
Just a question, Canola, some y'all going through this, so, and to help me or help us know if there's some sort of mission on my part as a county and the activities that occurred. But there's everything, my understanding, everything's been done at this point, been done appropriately by permits, et cetera. Open the lots according to the way that they currently exist.
Correct.
So remind me again the reasons for the need for the request. They wanted to redraw some lines.
Wanted to resolve, and there was quite a bit of public outcry that was zoned inappropriately. To allow this will be zoned inappropriately.
Mm-hmm.
So, trying to follow the rules, the P&Z voted to deny because of that.
There were some stop work orders, and the Acosta family has worked with Eddie on correcting those things. I believe that we had talked about some septic tank issues and backfill lines, but the family wanted to do this to split it with their children and kind of go ahead and get some of their future things worked out for their kids. That's why they're requesting to split the property lines. I know that we have some staff has talked about, there's a lot of outbuildings and garages and stuff like that, and there's a concern for setbacks and where the new property lines are, and if they can meet the setbacks for all of the structures that are there, and then the current locations of septic tanks. But there was no comment or feedback from staff on septic tank location according to the new proposed property lines. So I don't have an answer for that, if those are within the boundaries or not.
I believe, and I wasn't prepared because I had forgotten about it, that this was gonna be on the agenda for tonight, but, I'm not sure that according to the comprehensive plan that particular area was in compliance. Correct.
I don't think there was so much opposition to rearranging the internal property lines to make the lots more uniform inside the perimeter, 2, 2, and 2. It was, the only way to do that is to rezone these to R1. And R1 in that area is not good.
According to the, considered to be inconsistent.
Correct.
Any other questions, Jim?
Are you ready for me?
I am, sir.
I would make a motion, because this would be, well, I'm gonna have to justify that. I would make a motion to deny this request to go to R1 in this particular area. I don't believe, and I would have to be in agreement with the P&C board that this is inconsistent with our comprehensive plan. And I have visited the lots in the area in question, and I simply don't see, without the lines zigzagging, how this could possibly work, because there is well, it's stated here, you know, one of the things right now, the garage straddles one of the property lines. And then we still have a residential permit that's active, and we don't have a septic tank installed, or no installation report of a septic tank being installed, and I'm not sure how we got this far along, because the first thing you have to get before you can get a building permit is a septic tank.
All right. I have a motion by Commissioner Adams. I have a second.
Second motion.
Second by Commissioner Chandler. Is any discussion, gentlemen? Hearing none. Commissioner Adams?
Yes, to
It's been on items 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Yes, it is on items 1, 2, 3, and 4. Chandler?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Motion to deny carries. Item number 5.
Item number 5. Brooke and Samuel Francis are requesting to rezone a 4-acre portion of 27.33 acres from A1 to AR to allow it to be split for mortgage purposes and to rezone the 22.33 acres from A1 to A2 to bring the property in compliance with zoning regulations. The property is located at 1653 Vineyard Creek Church Road, Como Map 5, Parcel 42 in District 4. Public hearing was held. There was no one that came forward for or in opposition to this rezone request. The planning and zoning voted 5-0 to recommend approval.
Thank you, sir. Is anyone here in favor of this rezone request? Anyone here in opposition to this rezone request? Hearing none, we will close the floor, bring it back before the board. Gentlemen, I will entertain a motion.
I make a motion to approve the request.
Motion by Commissioner Kirk, we have a second.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Chapman. Any discussion, gentlemen? Hearing none, Commissioner Chapman.
Yes.
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 Motion carries for approval. Item number 6.
Item number 6. Marcus and Deborah Hale are requesting to rezone their 16.0 acres from A1 to AR to allow the property to be split to 2 tracts, consisting of approximately 8.79 and 7.30 acres, each to give to their daughter. The property is located on 0 Cobbett Road, Danielsville Road in Cobbett, map 58, parcel 88-02 in District 5. Public hearing was held. No one came forward for or in opposition to this particular rezone request. The planning and zoning recommended by a vote of 5-0 to recommend approval.
Thank you, sir. Is anyone here to speak in favor of this rezone request? Anyone here to speak in opposition to this rezone request? Hearing none, we will close the floor, bring it back before the board. Before I entertain a motion, did anybody ask how we're getting to this property? Is there an easement going to this property?
There he is.
Okay, I'll just clarify. And I see it on the next page. I apologize. All right, I'll entertain a motion, gentlemen.
I'll make the motion to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Doster.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Adams. Any discussion, gentlemen?
Just for the board, I got no call in opposition.
Thanks, sir. Hearing none,
Are we within the bounds of the number of lots to be accessed by an easement? So 1, 2, 3, that was the 4th one.
that's right.
So what in the front, you consider the road access, so it doesn't count.
Any other discussion? Commissioner May?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Motion carried by approval.
Number 7. Kyle Wood, applicant for Beverly Freeman, is requesting to rezone her 36.81 acres from A1 to AR/A2 to allow the property to be split into 4 acre tracts, consisting of 5.419, 5.0, 9.90, and 16.491 acres. Lot to sell. The property is located at 0 Harry Paul Road in Danielsville on map 48, parcel 26 in District 4. Public hearing was held. No one came forward for or in opposition to. The vote from the planning and zoning was 5-0 to recommend approval.
Thank you, sir. Anyone here to speak in favor of this rezone request? Anyone here to speak in opposition to this rezone request? Hearing none, we'll close the floor, bring it back before the board. Gentlemen, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the request.
Motion by Commissioner Kirk. Second by Commissioner Adams. Any discussion, gentlemen? Hearing none, Commissioner Kirk.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yep. Motion carried by approval.
Okay. Number 8, Admiral Swan, applicant for James Brookdahl, is requesting to rezone a 4.4 acre portion of the 15.16 acres from A2 to R1 to sell and combine with adjoining property 0040/0038 for desired additional road frontage. The remaining 10.7 acres remain in A2. The property is located at 97040 parcel 0044 in District 2. This particular item was heard back in November. The planning and zoning delayed it for more information. We came back to the planning and zoning at our last public hearing. There was quite a lot of opposition to this rezone request due to the road and other considerations. The planning and zoning voted 4-1 to deny this rezone request.
All right, thank you, sir. Anyone here to speak in favor of this rezone request? Anyone here to speak in opposition to this rezone request? Please step forward, state your name and address for the record, sir.
My name is Mike Sales. I live at 1176 Floyd Road. Also own the property at 950 Floyd Road, which is where Eugene Hardeman dead ends in the Floyd Road. The opposition that we have consists of several things, but one, it's not consistent with the plan. It's not consistent at all. It's not, part of it, the way it was drawn out, is not even consistent with the current maps of the adjoining property that's currently there. Swan property, Burkdale property, and Pool property come to a specific point outside of the county right-of-way on Eugene Hardeman Road. But sometime during this last period, someone has put in about a 15-foot culvert and gravel road driving up in there. And I spoke to Mr. Poole. He said he has not given any permission. And so I don't know how that came to be. I looked at the little map that they presented to planning and zoning, and they show the Swan property goes to the center line of Eugene Hardeman Road. And that is no longer the case. Talking to the guy over the road department, he said there is a 40-foot easement that the county owns, and nobody owns property on Eugene Hardeman to the center point of the road. So how that gravel road and this extension came in, I'm uncertain how that plat was approved to start with. The other part is, if you take that away and just add the Burkdale property to Muddy Creek there, you're not going to be able to put in a driveway sufficient to meet the regulations for the county to put it into a subdivision without adding a substantial culvert into Muddy Creek, extending that. And not a written opinion, but opinions I've gotten, at least for a culvert there, you're looking for over $80,000 just to put a culvert in the creek. You're going to have to bring Eugene Hardeman Road elevation up the code from Muddy Creek to Floyd Road. You're looking at probably county expenditure of funds in excess close to $1 million to bring that in the code for bringing that up pavement. Another part that wasn't brought up consistently or admitted to during the planning and zoning, the applicant has also, instead of just the part on Eugene Hardeman Road where Mr. Burkdale owns, he's also wanting to buy a 20-foot by 800-foot right-of-way, or property, not right-of-way, property along Eugene Hardeman Road from Burkdale property all the way up the Floyd Road to increase the width of Eugene Hardeman Road, which would bring it into code for paving, not discounting the cost for doing that. I took it upon myself to measure the existing pavement on Floyd Road, which has a 40-foot right-of-way there, and the paved part, even if you dig back past the grass a little bit, is anywhere from 16 foot to 19 foot at the bridge wide. So you're thinking about putting R1 at 1.5 acres. You're thinking about putting approximately 35 houses there. And according to his plan, is to bring that traffic all the way up Eugene Hardeman Road and dumping it out on Floyd Road. And you know the accidents we've already had on Floyd Road because it's curvy and there's a 90-degree turn. At my residence, someone's already run off the bridge into the creek. They've run through my trees. They've tore down my gate before my fence. I just don't think the traffic on Floyd Road, because it's a tar and gravel road, one of the original paved roads in that area, will sustain additional traffic, not counting the safety hazard. The argument came up from from Mr. Swan's attorney that, well, we need that entrance on that part, Eugene Hardman, for emergency vehicles. Well, I can count, since I ride the counties on a daily basis, my job, I can see almost 90% of the subdivisions and the roads in Madison have one way in and one way out. So every place that this argument says we need an additional entrance, because they already have an entrance off Rogers Mill Road approved into this area. So to say that we'd have to have this for emergency is not correct, or we'd have to go in and change the majority of the subdivisions and roads in the county that are just one way in and one way out with cul-de-sacs. So for all those reasons, and especially the plat, incorrect and not, I just don't think the road can hold it up unless the county taxpayers want to pay close to $1 million to upgrade it, because you can't make the guy that owns the 50 acres pay for fixing the road. He may promise to do that, but there's no teeth in any ordinance or law that I've been able to look up that says, oh yeah, we'll do that, and then once he sells the property, you're stuck. And I live there and I don't want to pay for it.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Anyone else here to speak in opposition to this request?
Amy Abrahamson, 178 Old Rogers Mill Road. I live across from where that creek comes into the main river. I've seen a lot of sedimentation coming from there. I think it's a concern for the water table and for the accessibility of, I think I agree with everything Mike just said. And I'm also concerned about the herring recruitment. We also have freshwater mussels in the river, which would be affected by sedimentation of unusual species in this area. Thank you.
Thank you.
What did you say your name was?
Amy Abrahamson, 138 Old Rogers Mill Road.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
I'm Lisa McLean. My husband and I live at 548 Eugene Hardman Road. I'm here to oppose on multiple counts, but the ones I will mention are, if you pass this, then not everybody's going to go to the left of it, this entrance. A lot of people are going to go to the right, meaning there's going to be there's liable to be, once these houses are built, a lot more traffic on Eugene Hardman, which may very well mean that we end up having to pay Eugene Hardman, and all the money that entails. Also, I guess my biggest concern, beyond the flooding, the potential for flooding, and the fact that the taxpayers will be on the hook for fixing the road that the person builds, if it gets wiped out by that creek, which it might, is I'm guessing that it's pretty clear that what the applicant will do is use Floyd Road for the construction, vehicles, the heavy equipment, the materials to build 30-plus homes. And as I know you probably are aware, Floyd Road was never built for that kind of wear and tear. And it's also pretty dangerous because there are several places where you can't see as you come around the curve. And it's a very narrow road, which means that if you come around the curve and there's a cement truck in your way, because they're not going to be able to maintain lane those big vehicles. It was hard enough today on Rogers Mill. They were sort of over, we were squeaking by. Floyd Road isn't going to get hurt. And somebody might get hurt on Floyd Road. And I know nobody wants that. Anyway, good luck and thanks for all you do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, anyone else? All right, hearing none, we will close the floor, bring it back before the board. Gentlemen, I'll entertain a motion.
Chairman, I move this application be denied.
I have a motion by Commissioner Chandler for denial. Do I have a second? Second by Commissioner Adams. Any other discussion, gentlemen? Hearing none. Commissioner Kirk, I think?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Motion carries to deny. All right.
Chairman, may I?
Yes, sir.
No, anything to speak on with this, from the P and Z standpoint, just wanna make you guys aware that we spent many minutes, hours in discussion of, auction bonds. That was one of my things, and I wanted that regulation changed, and we talked about, the tax amendment to bring before you guys. Well, we decided that because of how difficult that might be, since CPO is working on doing other things, and getting this to us, I guess my point is that we decided that we would not bring that text amendment to you, but to encourage you to push this thing along. Because we need to get something done, not only about auction bonds, but about all these other things that we have before us. So that's one thing. Also, you know that we have an opening on the P&Z board that we need to fill as quickly as possible, because I think that the planning and zoning does, and not to pat ourselves on the back, I think we do a good job, but we need all participants there in order to get it done.
Sir, if you don't mind, pass this on to the board, and I should have done this to begin with, because I generalized it when I said that the volume of what we dealt with in 25 was
Right.
had increased and everybody stepped up. I will tell you, after being up here now, going into the 5th year, I think, maybe the 6th year, I don't remember, the P&Z board has done, and you guys really have come together and have done a really good job, or a better job than I recall in many years past. But I thank you for your commitment and everybody's time, for the little $150 you receive, versus having the backlash of the public in your face all the time, running you down. I thank you, and I thank the board, and I want to make sure that those members of your board knows that they're appreciated. So, pass that on, please.
And just, if I may,
Yes.
y'all may know this already, but I think that's Commissioner Doster's seat to fill, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so you have 60 days, and then it goes to the entire board, anybody can nominate.
We should have before the meeting.
Okay.
Did y'all speak?
Yeah, we did.
Okay.
Okay, all right.
So, we got a few things in the works, but we'll let you know soon.
Okay, all right.
That's the easiest way to put it.
I'll leave the discussion there.
Yeah, no, it's, and we're fortunate, we are. I don't know how much y'all follow people around us, we are so fortunate for a county, that's all I'm gonna say. Old business, no old business. New business, consider a contract with C.W. Matthews Contracting Company Incorporated FY 2025 All System Safety Project. Christina?
So this is for the widening project that we partner with BOC. The total cost of this project is $985,630. We'll use T-SPLOST funds. This is to patch and overlay OGI, Sanford Road and Rogers Mill Road. So right now, Garrett Paving, we talked about this at the December 1st meeting. So Garrett Paving has the state contract to do the 2-foot widening and shoulder rebuild, and then C.W. Matthews come in at a lower bid to do the patching and the overlay. This contract has been reviewed by Mike. It has also been reviewed by C.W. Matthews Company. In the contract, it's written that they'll have 45 days to start from notice of receipt. They've already said that they will start within that 45 days, and all paving should be completed by April the 30th.
And again, I didn't come into tonight's meeting to keep giving props, but this particular one, Chris Deals with APS, was a huge part of this. navigating, this off-system projects. But Christina Baxter primarily done every document that it took, which got us about a $580,000 award. And she had this up, led it from start to finish, submitted all the documents for it.
Yes, it's very confusing on, there's different parts that come out of different funds and it's different grants for certain parts of the project, so we definitely took the dollar and we stretched it to 3.
Absolutely. And we were fortunate enough that Ms. Baxter got this application in on behalf of Madison County early, in which a lot of counties, the window to be able to submit was very narrow, and a lot of counties did not get their submissions in which our request was doubled. So hats off to everybody that worked on that, but it would not have happened without Ms. Baxter. I'm telling you guys, we are fortunate.
It's, I know it says consider a contract, but, one of the phrases that we see repeatedly in contractual agreements now is time is of the essence on this. Is there any reason we can't vote to proceed with this tonight?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
it
It is a motion.
Then, are you ready?
Yes, sir. I'll take a
Make
motion.
motion if we proceed with this contract.
Second motion.
Motion by Commissioner Adams, second by Commissioner Chandler. Any discussion, Joe? Hearing none.
Contract's 42 pages, just so you know. Contract's 42 pages, have to print them, count them, and then put that number in the document. In case y'all are wondering, it actually tells you how many pages are in there.
Yeah, I was sitting here thinking, I mean, all of that of getting money was more important, but she also did a wonderful job of drafting the contract. It made my job easy.
It's Mike Simplet, so I won't take all the credit.
Well, you actually understand how to use it.
Yeah.
Well, needless to say, you know, that there was a lot of other people involved. You know, you had to proof it, you had to verify it. There's a lot of stuff that Chris helped us put it together. Chris put us in contact with Skip that brought us this. Very good guy, by the way, Skip Earnhardt.
Yeah.
I think I pronounced it right. But anyway, we're thankful to him. So, no other discussion. Commissioner Doster, it's on you.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
All right. Consider a contract with Garrett Paving for the widening of Hope Thompson Lane.
So this contract is different than the previous one. This contract is what we use when we have a road project that's under $250,000. Even though the chairman has the ability to approve road projects that much, this is the first one since we kind of changed that ordinance, and I felt like there needs to be a contract for services with one company. So this is what Mike gave us to use. So Mr. Pruitt has reviewed, I have verified the insurance. This has been sent to Garrett, and they actually talked with their insurance company. Theirs was a little different, so we worked through that. This project, the amount is listed in the exhibit. So Exhibit B is the actual cost of the project, which is $170,675, and this is a grant award of $119,472. So there's a few extra expenses that the county can submit and we'll turn in, because we'll have to do a 30% match. I think that puts us around $172,000 to $174,000 for the whole project. But they are ready, like Chairman Higgins was saying, we did speak with them today with Garrett, and they're ready to start as soon as we call them. We've got some more packing to do and stuff on the county side, but
Hope Thompson is the road from 98 to the high school.
Correct.
Motion.
I get motion to approve.
Second motion.
Motion by Commissioner Doster, second by Commissioner Chandler.
Oh, also, just for additional information, we do have DOT permits, we have engineer drawings, and we do have a letter of request from the Board of Education to do this project.
So while we're in this, I have a motion and a second. While we're in discussion, for the public and for the ones watching at home who may go back and watch it, you know, this right here caps off the completion of a phenomenal asset to this county. You know, headed up by this board, the Board of Education, the Cattlemen's Association, the Ag Center Committee, all those years of hard work that we all heard about during the grand opening. And to be able to finally put the final piece of this puzzle and what you guys done, Terry, for all those years and acquiring that extra property and that getting those houses moved and being able to see this thing through from start to finish is a tremendous day for this county. So that is my part for this. And if there's no other discussion, Commissioner Adams, it's on you.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Discuss beer and wine licenses for Commerce Food and Fuel LLC.
So this is actually for a store that you approved a 2026 license for. There is a change in ownership, and they thought that they could just kind of use the same license and it just swap hands, and that's not the case.
Oh, yeah.
So our ordinance, it goes to the person, so they're applying for a new license, and it worked a little funny on the real estate side of how they're selling it, because they don't want there to be a overlap of not being able to sell alcohol. So on the individual citizen side, they've got some real estate rental buy-sell agreements that they're working on, so this will be effective February 1st.
Correct.
So this is a new change of ownership license.
Yes.
All the requirements met.
They're still in the process, some of the advertising, we're waiting on the affidavit. They still have to pay the actual licensing fees, but we don't have to pay that until you actually pick it up. But they're on track for being approved currently. So this is just for discussion. We won't approve this until the end of the month.
What's the address?
I'll have to get that. I don't know if it's not.
I'm just curious where it's at. It's at
Highway 98.
Yeah, this is the one on 98. This should be Sid Marks. Yep. Right there, right past Midway.
okay.
Yep. This is also, just for information, this is also the same store that is talking to, I don't know if Rodney gave you an update that Charlie was going to pay to have the water line extended down 98 to that store. I knew there was some conversations there about that, but I don't know if that's taken place yet.
Yeah, it has not. All right, so you will see that again on the 29th?
26.
26th.
Yes, sir.
Discuss memorandum of understanding between the Board of Regents of the University System of Georgia and on behalf of the University of Georgia Cooperative Extension and Madison County.
So this one is interesting. As the board has been going through budgets for 2 years, we have been looking into new agreements with third parties that provide services that either aren't existent or need to be updated. This agreement for services is with the Extension Office. The Extension Office is under the Board of Regents for the university. So the agreement will actually be held with the Board of Regents. There was some drafts that reached out to Travis Tankersley. He's not here because he can't answer the questions or defend this. He can't negotiate this contract. It's with the university. So he reached out, got the MOU, sent it over to us. Me and Mike both reviewed it. There are legal concerns that the board needs to be aware of. There are some open-ended exhibits, possibilities. I talked to Travis about that. It is for the IT and technology hardware. I think that this is verbiage that they use and that they're not willing to negotiate changing with just Madison County. It's universal verbiage that they use throughout the state. So I had asked specifically if we could put in a dollar amount or equipment amount into the contract, and I'm just going to kind of read through some of the stuff that Travis said. He said there was not a way to add a dollar amount to this, given the unique circumstances at each location and the changing nature of IT hardware in general. The addendum is referring to hardware or technology that is required for basic access functioning, which is basic connectivity or IT maintenance, not new computers. If the county were to provide any hardware, it's usually whatever the county would supply to similar agencies. Since we are in a county building, they explained it as if another county department were to operate out of the building we are in, what would be absolutely necessary to function in today's world technology. So my understanding is we are providing internet, Wi-Fi, power, those basics for them to provide the equipment to have access to the internet. But in that, there's no dollar range in that. That's how he explained it to me. And I didn't follow up with Mike. I did follow up with Mike on that, but he reiterated that there is a potential of a concern just for the verbiage that he felt.
Yeah, and the other thing is that, there's also no dollar amount just for the main services part, aside from the IT part that's been added.
Yeah.
I think the board discussed that a couple of years ago when this came up, and I think you ended up just approving it and hoping for the best, and that's the same deal now.
Yeah.
And I think,
so there are dollar amounts that we approve throughout the year. We approve a dollar amount and a separate contract for their salary and wages. Like the county agrees to pay a certain dollar amount, and that's where it's broken out. I don't know if y'all remember, it's a one sheet, it's a graph, like the Board of Education pays a dollar amount, we pay a dollar amount, and the university pays. It's broken up in percentages like that.
My concern is that once you approve this, that all kind of becomes ministerial, because this says you're going to pay whatever the costs are.
Right.
correct.
So that they don't even give you a guaranteed maximum or not to exceed.
Exactly.
No.
They do not.
And this is what is becoming more common with these MOUs, and I've tried to say it, it may not come across the way I intend it to sometimes through emails, but the only way we're gonna get out of these open-ended contracts is if we offer the services in-house. So that way we can close both ends, we own both doors. There's nothing against the extension office, I promise you, I don't mean this in any bad way, they do a great job for us. There's a lot more money goes to this than just insurance and salaries. There's cell phones, there's other things, there's travel pay, there's motel fees, a lot of stuff that's not as an employee. So in that, using the extension office in a broader version, it could fit 5 other departments that we have just like it. And while we request these contracts to have some kind of legitimacy to them, a lot of times the contracts are not very good, and we have no control over them. So the only way to do away with those and or to fix them is to abolish the contract and start fresh with your in-service people, which don't always get you your best up-to-date
If I can just add to that, yeah, I deal with UGA contracts for other clients in other contexts, and it's always this way. It's just, UGA does not generally produce a very good contract, and they're usually not very willing to talk about it. So it's not the extension service's fault.
No, I don't think anybody will take it there.
That's why we don't have this contract. I think that we've looked at this before, the Board of Regents verbiage. It talks about lump sum payments, it talks about annual leave time, lump sum payments.
Could we assemble any kind of historical data over the past 2 to 3 years of what we have done, so that we've got some idea of what our target is?
Yeah, I don't have it, but
No,
I'm pretty sure Christina and Todd too.
Yeah, the financial line items will show allocations versus expenditures.
Yeah.
And those are very easy to track. Obviously, they all seem to be increasing for various reasons. None of these particular agencies have been to an extreme allocation request. They're normally minimal based off of salaries and this, that, and the other, cell phone bills going up or whatever. I think 2026 is going to be a year that we're really going to have to look at these contracts a little more in detail. Say the library service, for instance, we're going to say, okay, where's the cutoff point that we decide to provide our own employees in the library system? And I'm not saying we will, it's just if we're going to get to something we can actually control, you're going to have to get to that point.
But I believe.
Or start treating them like 1099 employees.
I believe the verbiage is for us to apply the due diligence we're charged with as citizens of the county. Then we need to have some idea of what the target amount is.
Agreed. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, whatever that number may be.
Well, I tell you, with this document, please look through it, and, because we still got, 20 days before we vote again. So if there's anything you would like for Mike or Christina to go back at those guys with, please don't do it yourself, because we won't all know what we're all doing at the same time. But get with either one of those two via email chain, so we know we all seeing the same thing at the same time, so we don't double up asking our questions.
The only thing probably more difficult than getting them to change their understanding their contract is getting them to change anything.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, we've dealt with that.
Yeah,
They're a
so
little one-sided.
there may, back to the original question you asked, I'm probably not able to be of much use, but I'm sure Christina and Susan Payne can give you numbers of historical expenditures.
Is there a way within the bounds of this contract to require them to make a proposal to us annually at their budget request that would include the dollars they anticipate requiring from us for that upcoming year?
Are you?
Yeah.
Well, that would certainly be a reasonable request, but the answer we got was not just no, but.
Yeah.
I don't think they would even allow.
Well, under B3, talks about, we agree to review the financial support operating of the extensions annually, including compensations, make adjustments. The extension coordinator will prepare and submit for approval an annual operating budget to the county.
If they do that, that's what they give us each year.
Yeah. What I was trying to ask, like items we talked about on the IT, the county agrees to install and support it lists here the things that the county is gonna do. So at the beginning of the year, they'll have a pretty good idea, we're gonna require those upgrades in IT, and as part of that, just the state there, then all those amounts should be able to be presented to us, and we decide whether to move or not.
In their budget request, they'll say, we've got 4 trainings planned.
Right.
Or whatever, so that should be nothing more than an extra line item. But it was a little difficult to get even having this part right here, just to be honest, because we've asked for it for this is the 5th year now we've asked for it. 4th year we've asked for it. We finally got something.
Yeah, and that, again, little vague, the way they do their contracts, that part that Commissioner Doster read is in it's under the operations section, part 1, where it talks about office infrastructure, vehicles, and travel. I think the assuming they actually did that, the open-ended part would be under item 2, compensation, and that's where it goes to what I think you said. It's whatever their rates of pay and expenses are.
What I found unique was talking to some of the other counties that utilizes our same people, is we all pay something different. And that's really ironic, and I'm not throwing anybody under the bus when I say this, but Oglethorpe may pay for 8 trainings a year, but we pay for 3 trainings a year, but we may furnish cell phones and they do not furnish cell phones. So it's the craziest thing in the world, but it works, it just don't work well on.
The same thing occurs with the salaries. It's obviously, the bulk of their salaries come from the university, but the different counties, all the counties have a portion of that, and different counties do different things.
Yeah.
There are some counties that actually have threatened pulling the extension offices because the counties pay so little. And yes, okay, we'll just close it there. There's negotiation that goes on with it all the time. My point being, I feel like on all these things that are open-ended, maybe we can require it to be presented to us and understood that anything you're going to require that year gets approval in the budget up front, or otherwise we'll see you next year.
I think, the court system, contracts that we've done dividing up the juvenile prosecutor was probably the most fairest way to do it, was we all paid the same amount. And the juvenile prosecuting judge said, even though Oglethorpe may hear less cases, or potentially Elbert County may hear less cases, you never know when that one case comes along. It may take 2 months to go through it, which would exonerate all the rest of you. So that's why we all said, you know what, we're just evenly going to split this. And at some point, that may be the deal with, UGA Extension Services. If we get those 3 people and all 4 of us want to partner, we'll all split X dollars.
Yeah, the difference was with that conversation, everyone understood what they were agreeing to and what they were agreeing to.
Yeah. All right, well, moving on.
Number 5, folks, is that 159?
Oh, yeah, you're right. Discuss intergovernmental agreement with, municipal court services between Madison County and the city of Hull, Georgia.
So this is an IGA that the city of Hull has requested they have approved, and they've requested, for the BOC to review and approve. This is only for discussion. This is only for municipal court systems. This is not for building inspection, code enforcement, animal control. It's not for any of those where we originally started. The city of Hull has advised they have their own code enforcement and animal control officer that they plan to use. However, staff and the judge don't feel comfortable moving forward with this type of agreement. They feel as if any municipality wants a service that the county can provide to them, we're happy to do so under our rules, our employees, and then the fees coming back to the county to provide that service. So we just feel like this may be opening up a can of worms a little bit, and it makes it a little confusing and hard to process. But this is just for discussion, and the city of Hull has asked for it to be presented to the board.
So in this case, we are UGA.
Yes.
Correct. Very good analogy, yes. I'm more concerned about the fact that they're gonna, there's laws in place, and we don't know who's going to do those for them.
Yep.
And who's gonna write those citations that then has to come before the judge to make sure their credentials are legal and valid.
And from my understanding, that this municipal court service was gonna be for animal control only, that's where they were gonna start. But I think that, Todd and myself, and Mike probably already knows, he definitely knows more about this than we do. There are a lot of laws in having an animal control officer, and there are a lot of certifications and a lot of gray areas.
A lot of quick ways to get in trouble.
Yeah, that's concerning.
So my concern, my recollection is, the last thing I saw from Judge Patton is that he was only willing to do, rightly so, only willing to enforce certain ordinances for the city, and only if they adopted codes identical to the county's codes. None of that is specified in here.
No.
So this may be a dead letter anyway, because this is not what Judge Patton has said he will do.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
Yeah, and that I have that email here, and you're right, that, his preference is for one generic agreement for everyone where they can adopt our ordinances, use our people, and all fines go to the county. And then he goes on to elaborate his opinion, in there.
Just as part of the conversation too, Mike, that if this would be accepted, shouldn't David sign it prior to us agreeing to this?
Well, that's an excellent point, yeah, because there's no point, I mean, what this board does is meaningless unless Judge Patton also agrees with it.
Yeah, I guess that's what I'm getting at. He's the principal, gonna bear the blunt of whatever we decide. And without his endorsement, I would be hesitant to commit him to something.
Yeah, well, and there's a statute that governs this one, so it's actually void unless both the Board of Commissioners and Judge Patton approve it, so neither one can bind the other.
Good. All right, moving on, because that's for discussion.
Yep.
Again, we'll take emails, I think we pretty well got a handle on it. Consider an intergovernmental agreement with the Industrial Development Building Authority to hire economic director. I know Mike finished up putting the touches on this late this afternoon. Christina and myself, we proofread it this morning, a lot of the emails back and forth. I think Christina has gotten with Mike, and there was some changes that was made to benefit everyone. And I know Mr. Jones got a copy of those, proofread it, and is agreeable to those changes as they were just clarity type comments that was stricken from the original set emails, which y'all may not have saw those neither. Don't know. But anyway, we've got a pretty good agreement now, so.
Yeah, from my perspective, and this came up on Wednesday, December 31st, and another one of those that went through the weekend. So, and I'm just saying this because, I mean, I did the best I could with it, but I honestly still don't understand why it's addressing, why Exhibit B is here for these potential clerical staff that could also be joint employees, for lack of a better term, because I thought there was only going to be one employee at this time, the Economic Development Director, and all the details of that were known. But for some reason, it was insisted upon that potential future employees also be included. So Mr. Jones valiantly tried to come up with a job description and bring today's help, and that's what you have.
I'm just a latrine lawyer.
So, Christina, you could probably speak to that, because Christina tried to get a lot of that stuff out of it today. And I know the intent. So the intent was to, what are we gonna do when? And let's go ahead and cover it now. Unfortunately, that does convolute it, because who knows if the IDA decides to hire 3 or 4 people on their end, then it potentially gets coverage and it goes away. It goes back to them as an employee. You know, I don't know, but I'm not going to look at that day for clerical staff, because right now we're sharing a clerical staff for like 4 hours a month or something like that, paid for by them. On the 4 hours, it's employee of ours for 36, technically.
Well, and one part that I did put in, trying to guard against it, is 2B on page 2, that these future position or positions of beyond Economic Development Director would not be filled unless and until both the IDBA and the county agree to do it.
Yeah, and I think that's the safest way. It's a much better docket than we've ever had, because it does give the BOC the power, because the employee is a BOC employee, but it also states that the IDBA has the day-to-day operations, that they have the guidance, but we all know in writing, inevitably at the end of the day, we have to both agree. And I think that's a good thing, that we have a meet-in-the-middle document.
Yeah, this goes ahead and approves the candidate to fill the director position, and provides that, determine Mr. Jones or whomever is in his position would do the day-to-day operation. Terminating that person would require both chairs' concurrence. Filling that position would require both chairs' concurrence.
Is it both chairs? I thought I read in there that he would be considered a department head, so it would require the chair of the IDBA plus the BOC.
Correct, it would.
I believe that's.
All department
I'm
heads.
sorry, that's right. The director requires the board. You're right, I'm sorry.
Yeah, just for that position.
Just for that position.
The staff would be handled just like any other staff, yes.
And that's what Christina corrected me on today, and I'm sorry, I misremembered it just a minute.
No, but a question I might have, and I guess this is for David, is if we go ahead and approve the intent of this document, then you can go ahead and bring our candidate on board, correct?
Exactly. Yeah, I can't move until you approve it, and then my board will approve it. We'll approve it. If you approve it, I've already got the wheels in motion for us to get the approval done, so we don't drag this out more than the 8 months it's been dragging out. And that will allow me, once he gets some information back to me, to read in there, we're planning to bonus him to cover the 60-day gap where he would have no insurance coverage. Once he can tell me what his costs are going to be, then we can incorporate that into a letter that Mike will help me pen, and we will get that to him. I want to get it to him as soon as I can, because I want him to notify his current employer. So I don't know whether he needs 2 weeks or a month, but I want to get this man on board, because he's what we need.
put it that way.
So
And
you need action from us tonight.
I would ask for it, because otherwise, if you don't vote on it tonight, you won't vote it again until 3 weeks from now, which pushes me out 2 months. And the only other thing I would add, it didn't come up, but in terms of this staff position, the one thing that I've notified the existing staff, that I want to track hours. How much time does she spend on water versus
Actually devoted to what
I'm not gonna have us hire someone until I can see, even if we do something compensation wise to move some of that, if it's more than what's reasonable. But the key is that she's spending more time, or that person is spending more time over here than she is over there. And I would hope that happens. I hope that we're so busy that this director can't handle all of the administrative side of things. Stephanie is excellent in terms of nailing stuff down. Believe me, she's nailed me down a few times already, and it's been helpful.
I believe, since there's been such a length of time that we've processed this and discussed it and kicked it back and forth, up and down Highway 29, I think that this is a position that honestly the county desperately needs to put someone in this position to facilitate the opportunities that we are literally missing every day.
So I can ask for that in a motion, sir.
Make a motion that we approve the document as it's been presented tonight. Yes.
So I have a motion by Commissioner Adams, a second by Commissioner Kirk. Is there any discussion, Joe? All right, I'll go with discussion. Thank you. Thank you from the Board of Commissioners, from my role to you directly, for putting a lid on this, getting it done, and to David Jones, thank you for heading that table. You picked up, Ben done a great job. You picked up, and the future is bright, because this involves our county, not the IDBA, not the BOC. This involves 34,000 people, and I didn't think I was ever going to see a day that we could all be this united in trying to move it forward, but we are. So with that being said, Commissioner Chandler.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good job, guys, everybody.
Thank you. Christina,
I was gonna say, in all this, I made a friend of mine.
David, as soon as you can get your board together to vote, just so that I can jot another little note down on my stuff, would you post it to us that they've accepted the
Wednesday
proposal?
morning, 10 o'clock. As soon as I get these 2 signatures, Wednesday morning, 10 o'clock, we've got a meeting. It'll be set, will be noticed tomorrow morning, and Stephanie will make sure Christina has it and come back to you guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dave.
It's taken a lot of work for this.
I'll tell you a side note, because some of y'all been to the IDA meetings, and some of you haven't recently, but right now, the board, Gene and Mark, you, it's in a better mindset than I've ever seen. I mean, really, the unity around the table, the discussion and how it's discussed is so much better now than I can recall. Mike can say that, I would say.
I agree, yeah. You could not afford Mr. Jones if you had to pay him.
All right, urgent matters.
I have a request, and this is based on my thoughts after we dealt with the transfer station issue on James Holcomb Road.
Yes, sir.
It's apparent that we just in general have not paid a lot of attention to our industrial parks as industrial parks, and what we as a county need to do to serve them, or to make sure they are ready to serve potential tenants there. So particularly on James Holcomb Road, that access there, I would ask for us to get Chris Beals to evaluate the access to all of our industrial areas. and see what needs to be done, particularly on James Holton Road, because there are those 2 90-degree turns.
Yeah.
But also the roads within the industrial parks. Who owns it? Whose job it is to maintain them? Again, if we're gonna be serious about having industry in here, then we need to keep our sidewalks edged like we need to. And obviously that road through that industrial park has not been dealt with. It's just one of those things we just have omitted over time. So I've asked for him to evaluate those, access to them, and then the roadage within all of our industrial areas, and make sure that we're gonna be in a position to accept the kind of traffic that we want to have in those industrial areas.
Sir, you are 100% correct. The roads are ours. They don't deed over to the property. We maintain those. I will tell you that we've changed our building standard, requiring a lot more stringent than just a standard road. Now it's a 10-inch base compacted to 8 versus a 8-inch base compacted to 6, a 2.2 topping versus a 2 1.5. But you're right. The ones coming up will be, the IDVA will be over construction of that. I think we have the right people now, but you're right, 1,000%. We do have to keep them looking top notch.
If we get Chris to take a look at those and see if there's anything that we can do, that's gonna be a safety concern. I feel like there'll be a safety concern on James Holton Road with the new level of traffic there. So if he would take a look at that, and maybe with his contacts, he can help us create a better way to access that than what we currently have.
I did want to mention something about that because it came up the other night from Mr. Guest, and Mike Pruitt has said this before. The contractor he was referring to from 1998 said that after, if nobody built on that lot in 24 months, that the county come back and buy it. Just as a reminder, we know that clause is in that contract, but it's out of date and it's undefendable because we waited 25 years to enforce it.
Right.
And that's something we do as a regular practice, but it's doable.
Well, so that would be a matter of equity, I think. So there's, courts also apply equitable principles, and one of those is something called latches, which just means delay, which basically means that if you delay on enforcing a right too long and other people have moved on, assuming you're not going to justifiably, you've waived your right to enforce it.
Correct.
I had the same thought on the zoning issues that we had. The commissioners have the authority to reverse a rezone if something has not occurred in a year. But that's, and this, the rezone there on Rogers Mill Road that we addressed, that subdivision there is a glaring example. That's been 20 years or more that nothing has happened, and we did not take action on that.
Exactly.
But
but I think you could have. I mean, that's, so the latches sort of comes into the contractual restrictive covenant, more of the private side of it. As a matter of zoning law, I think at least up until action was taken in reliance on that zoning classification, you probably could have changed it.
Don't we have a thing where you've got a 1-year limit? Like if a developer approaches us, that they have to make changes or improvements to the property?
Something like, yeah, there's something in the zoning ordinance that, and I guess the purpose of that is just, again, you're not really, I mean, the state law vests this board with legislative power over zoning. So you can't really waive your legislative power, but I think what you're saying in that ordinance provision is, and I didn't write it, of course, but I think the legal interpretation would be you're guaranteeing the landowner or whomever his subsequent owners are 1 year to get things started.
It's to prevent speculative zoning requests.
But you have to, someone here has to keep up with that and bring it back to y'all and say, it's been 13 months, do you want to revert this?
And
You gotta exercise your right.
I have asked Eddie and them to come up with a mechanism to evaluate everything after a year, just to look at it and say, and has something happened or has it not, and then just to let us know.
Right.
Well, so then we can decide whether we want to take action or not.
That's right.
How we follow up on that.
In this conversation, this particular developer that's involved in this request tonight has one that is rapidly approaching the 1 year. approval.
Yeah, yeah.
And also in regards to.
106.
Yeah, in regards to the buyback arrangement, we had this conversation regarding Matico East, where there's a 6 or 7 acre parcel in the heart of our industrial development that's sat idle down there for 40 years with no plans for it, which is sad.
Yeah.
Well, the good part is, we read back into that on that 7 acre, because SMI wanted to buy that.
Yeah.
And that's when we come up with this buyback thing. It was so poorly written at the time that it didn't have any teeth in it, but it can be something that can be revisited. And I'm sure now with an economic developer on board and with the new IDBA, the way it's running, that we can probably update that ordinance for the IDBA.
Well, yeah, it's not that, yeah, for the IDB, so that was done as deed by deed restricted covenants within the deed, which is fine.
Yeah.
They just need to be written better. So,
That's right. It was all the way it was written. It had no bone in it. So we can fix that, and we could also create an ordinance for specific rezones. But we just don't have anything now. That's why it was non-revertible. We said you had to be an initiated revert, but there wasn't an ordinance to back that revert up, I don't think.
No, that's not, well, there was some thought that it was some sort of automatic.
Yeah, it's not an automatic revert.
That can't be the case.
Yeah.
So I think it just has to be, it's a process problem here, as Terry just said, yeah.
But if we put that in our zoning ordinance, that it can be, or at least be made known, at least we need to make it known.
It's already in the zoning ordinance with the 1 year. You just need a process for this board to let us know the year's up.
Track.
We'll check with Melissa tomorrow. Some of that stuff they're working on, that they're fixing to wrap up, may have it in it.
Oh, yeah, the
But
permit.
we'll find out. All right, executive session, discuss real estate acquisition, personal matters, potential litigations.
No, sir.
Commissioner Doster.
Mike, don't leave, I need to kind of.
Okay.
I have something to get you to.
Commissioner Doster.
Sure.
Before you adjourn,
Yes.
all right, see you in 3 weeks. I do want to invite all of you who've already got letters to the MLK program on the 19th, 12 noon, Faithful Chapel, Community Church.
19th.
Looking forward to seeing you.
Okay.
12 noon. Right? 12 noon. 12 noon.
That intersection.